Hi everyone, and welcome back to Kabaka Talks. It was a few days ago I posted last, but now I'm finally back. Today I want to talk about the fact that we as guys, when we enter relationships, that we we forget our our friends, and like we also forget like our former life that we had before we met this particular woman. I want to talk about why that's a problem. So what happens is, so you meet a girl, and you're very excited. This girl, you think that she's the best. Like she's like this, the best thing that happened to you. And slowly you start to hang out with the guys, more and more. Which is fine, in the beginning. Obviously, when you get, when you're trying to get to know someone, especially if it's a female, that you're gonna have a romantic interest in. Obviously, it makes sense that you would, disappear for some time, but I think that eventually it's very important to let the woman know that that you also have a life before you met her. That's very, very important, because this woman, unfortunately, most relationships, they end, they fail. And it's very important to have a group of friends that can support you, through these tough times, because most of the times, I would think it tends to be the woman that leaves. So I just think that it's very important, as for us guys to really, really, really start to think about these kind of things, because I have a lot of friends that I haven't seen in years, because they met some woman, and then this girl became like their everything in their lives. And it's a big problem, because what happened, when the relationship ends, then all of a sudden, like you this friend of yours that you used to hang out with back in, before, now all of a sudden, they hit you up, and they're like, oh, what's going on, we should catch up sometimes. And then you're like, so this is the time to reach out to to me or to us, because your relationship ended. I just think that that's like it's such a I think it's such a pity thing to do. I think that I think it's very important to make it clear with the woman, like with the woman, that you're saying that, you make it like very clear in the beginning, and you tell her that, hey, listen, I have a lot of friends, I have a very rich social life, and obviously before you came into this life, I was hanging out with my friends, and I was having a good time. And I'm happy that you came into my life, but I'm still gonna hang out with my friends. I just want you to know that. But unfortunately, most guys, they don't say that. They're so happy, and they're so into this, this girl, that that like they don't even second think about what they're doing. Because like it's almost like, I kind of get this feeling of like, it's almost like some guys, they just wait like to meet a woman, and then to just have a reason to not actually go from the house. Which is a very bad thing, because I know for a fact that we guys, we need each other. Like sometimes like you can have an argument, or like you can have a fight with your woman. And then I think it's very important to have your guys that you can actually talk to, because sometimes like you can argue with a woman, you can argue, and then if you don't go out, from the house, you'll start to think that you're crazy, like that things you're trying to tell her, like doesn't make sense. It's first actually when you go out and you meet your guys, because we're not connected to this, to this, whatever situation you're going through in your relationship. So, you know, I will tell you and be like, no, that's wrong. She shouldn't do like that. But I think that you being in this situation and not, coming out and meeting, your friends, or like, I mean, even your brother, I think for us guys, we tend to, it's so easy to think that, that you're going crazy, just because of the fact that, you don't really want to reach out to your guys because you think it's, it'll be embarrassing or something like that, but it's not. So, yeah, so, so what I want to say with this video is that I think it's very important for, we as, guys, it's very important to always stay in contact with our guy friends, even though we meet a woman and then we enter a relationship. I think it's very important to make it clear to the woman that um, that you appreciate her, you love her, even if you do that, but it's important to not enter this relationship and just forget about your own life, forget about all your, your friends, because at the end of the day, we are the ones who's going to be here to support you, when this say relationship ends, which it eventually does. So yeah, so that's something that I've been thinking about for some time, that why is it that so many guys, like, it seems to be so normalized that as soon as you get a girlfriend, you just disappear. It's almost like the life you had before, like, it doesn't really matter. It's almost like you just you waited to meet this special woman, and then after that you just disappear. And also I just think it just looks bad, like, if you don't reach out to if you don't reach out and try to make an effort to to come out and meet your friends, and then all of a sudden, when it ends, like, you're gonna reach out, and I don't know, it just feels like, like, it's almost like you you just reach out because now is the time, now is the time you need us, but it's like, I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like using, like using people. I don't like that at all. I think it's very important to make sure that, even though your relationship, like, you also have like your private life, with your friends. And I think it's also healthy for the relationship too, because I mean, like, more, also one of the reasons why a lot of relationships ends is because, like, it's because you guys are always together like this, so, and people need like time from each other to to miss each other, and yeah, to kind of feel the longing, for your partner. Because I think that a lot of problems that we tend that tend to happen in a relationship is it's because everyone gets too comfortable. You see each other every day, and it's like, and also, like, you know a lot of people, they tend to move in very, very quick. That's also another topic in itself that I want to talk about. Why I think it's a very bad idea to move in with a girl. But I think I'll save that for for another video. But yeah, it's very important to not forget your friends, that when you enter the relationship. It's very important to understand that like, women, they come and go, but your friends, they'll still stay your friends. But you also have to make an effort to reach out and actually come out and hang out with them, because they generally, like, I mean, if it's good friends, they generally care about you. They really do. And so don't forget about your friends, just because you enter a relationship. So that's a very important thing. Yeah, so that's the message I want to leave you guys with today. yeah, so see you around, and hopefully if you still enjoy these videos, I'm still starting out, so I'm just learning as I go. So please give me some feedback in the comments, and yeah, try to keep it nice in the comments. Please like this video, and yeah, subscribe if you find this content valuable. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye. This is Jonah on Kabaka Talks.